There are two voices in your head. You have probably noticed this, even if you have never had a name for it. There is the voice that tears you down, that catalogues your failures at 2 in the morning. That tells you to stay small, stay safe, do not reach too far, do not want too much. Do not believe that what you feel inside you is real. And then there is the other one. Quieter, much quieter, but there, always there. The one that surfaces in unexpected moments and says, wait, there is something more here. Something in me knows something that this world is not telling me. Most people spend their entire lives assuming both voices are equally theirs. That the loud, critical, limiting one is just being realistic, and that the quiet, expansive, knowing one is just wishful thinking. Tonight, I want to show you that this assumption is wrong. Those two voices do not have the same origin. They do not come from the same place. They do not serve the same purpose. And understanding the difference between them is not a psychological exercise. It is one of the most important things you will ever do. Because one of those voices belongs to what the Gnostic tradition called the god of this world, the demiurge, the ruler of the material construction, the imposter, and the other one, the quiet one. The one that has refused to go away no matter how thoroughly the loud one has tried to drown it out. That one belongs to the Father. The real one, the monad, the source of genuine light, and tonight we learn to tell them apart. Before we go in, subscribe to the Gnostic Archive right now and turn on the notification bell, because what we are building here, week by week, is the complete map, the one that was taken, and you will want every piece of it. Let us start with something the Apostle Paul wrote, because even inside the canonical text, even inside the scripture that the institutional church preserved and promoted, there is a line that most people read and move past without fully stopping. In his second letter to the Corinthians, Paul writes about the God of this world. Not the Father, not the God of heaven, the God of this world, as a separate entity, one who blinds the minds of unbelievers, who prevents the light from getting through. Paul knew the distinction. He named it directly, and then, for 17 centuries, that distinction was quietly smoothed over in mainstream theology. Explained away, made compatible with a framework that insisted there was only one God and he made everything, including the world you are suffering inside. But the Gnostics refused to smooth it over. They said, Paul is right. There are two, and they are not equal. And the one ruling this world is not the Father. And understanding that distinction, that specific, carefully preserved Gnostic teaching, is the key to understanding the two voices in your head. So, who is the God of this world, really? In terms you can actually use, think about every system you have ever been inside that told you who you were. School. That graded your worth and ranked your intelligence and decided early, often very early, what category you belonged in, smart or struggling, gifted or average, worthy of investment or not. Social media. That quantifies your value in likes and followers and engagement. That holds up an endless gallery of other people's curated lives and asks you, without ever saying it directly, why are you not more like this? The economy, that translates your time, your energy, your hours of living into a number, and then uses that number to determine what kind of life you are permitted to have. Religion, in its institutional form, that told you the divine is far away, that you are inherently broken, that you need the institution's mediation, its approval, its sacraments, before you can approach what is holy. Now, what do all of these systems have in common? They all define you from the outside in. They all look at you and see the surface, the measurable, the quantifiable, the productive, the compliant, the socially legible. And they all, consistently, systematically, ignore the one thing that cannot be measured or ranked or quantified or made socially legible. The light inside, the pneumatic spark, the piece of the genuine Father's nature that every human soul carries, that no system can see, because no system was built to look for it. That is the God of this world operating through his construction, not through malice, through blindness. He genuinely cannot see what he is working around. And so he builds systems that reflect his blindness, systems that treat you as if the surface were the whole story, as if what can be measured were all that exists, as if the quiet voice, the one that says there is something more here, were nothing but noise. Now ask yourself something honestly. How much of what you believe about yourself came from one of those systems? How much of the story you carry about your own limitations, your own worth, your own capacity for something genuine and deep and real came from a grade, a comment, a comparison, a rejection, a number, a ranking, a system that looked at you and saw only what it was built to see? How much of the loud voice, the one that tears you down at 2 in the morning, is actually a memorized summary of what the God of this world's systems decided about you? I want you to sit with that question, because the answer is uncomfortable. For most people, the answer is, most of it. Most of what we believe about our own limitations was handed to us by systems that were never built to see us clearly, by a construction that was designed around a fundamental misunderstanding of what we actually are. We absorbed it young. We absorbed it before we had the language to question it. We absorbed it so thoroughly that it began to feel like self-knowledge, like honest, clear-eyed assessment of who we are and what we are capable of. But it is not self-knowledge. It is the God of this world's blindness, living inside your head, speaking in your voice. That is the imposter. Now let us talk about the Father, the real one, because this teaching only has power if both sides of the distinction are clear. The monad, as the Apocryphon of John describes it, is perfect, complete, not deficient, not requiring anything from outside itself, not measuring, not ranking, not withholding its light from the souls that fail to meet a standard. The monad does not grade on a curve. The monad's nature, the Gnostic teachers said, is generative. It produces not because it lacks, but because it is so entirely full that the fullness overflows. The entire pleroma, the entire realm of genuine divine light and life and intelligence, emerges not from the monad's need, but from the monad's abundance, and the pneumatic spark within every human soul is a piece of that abundance, not a piece of the demiurge's construction, not a product of the material world systems, a piece of the monad's own overflowing nature, placed, embedded, within the demiurge's world, in a way that the demiurge himself did not fully understand and cannot fully control. Now think about what that means for the quiet voice, the voice that says there is something more, that says you are not only what the world has told you, that says the light you feel inside is real and not wishful thinking, and not your ego protecting itself from hard truths. If the pneumatic spark is a piece of the monad's nature, then that voice is not coming from your imagination. It is coming from the Father, directly, through the spark, into your awareness. In the moments when the God of this world's noise is quiet enough for it to be heard. That is not a metaphor. That is the Gnostic tradition's most precise and most urgent cosmological claim. The Father speaks to you, already, now, through the spark within you, without institution, without mediation, without the God of this world's permission. And the quiet voice is what that sounds like, inside a world built to drown it out. In Hauper, if what you are hearing is cutting through something in you, something that has needed cutting through for a long time, then like this video, subscribe to the Gnostic Archive, and turn on the notification bell, because we go here, into this territory, every week, and the soul that is waking up needs consistent nourishment, not just one meal. The Tripartite Tractate, one of the most sophisticated texts from the Nag Hammadi library, makes a distinction I want to explain carefully, because it directly addresses how the imposter operates inside the mind. It describes the demiurge as a being who imitates. He does not create from genuine divine nature. He copies, he mirrors. He produces counterfeits of the pleroma's genuine qualities, and the most dangerous counterfeit he produces is not outside you, it is inside. Here is what I mean. The genuine Father's presence, within the pneumatic spark, produces specific qualities of interior experience, a sense of genuine fullness, of being known, of being sufficient, of being connected to something real and lasting beneath the noise of ordinary life and the God of this world's mechanisms. The systems and voices and structures that carry his blindness into your inner life produce counterfeits of exactly those qualities. The counterfeit of genuine fullness is consumption, the feeling that if you acquire enough, buy enough, achieve enough, accumulate enough, you will eventually feel the fullness you are reaching for. It never comes, because it is a counterfeit. It imitates the shape of genuine fullness without containing the substance. The counterfeit of being genuinely known is social approval, the feeling that if enough people see you, validate you, like you, follow you, confirm your existence through their attention, you will feel the recognition you are reaching for. It never fully satisfies, because it is a counterfeit. It imitates the shape of genuine recognition without containing the substance. The counterfeit of genuine sufficiency is achievement, the feeling that if you accomplish enough, prove enough, become impressive enough by the God of this world's standards, you will finally feel that you are enough. It never arrives, because the standard keeps moving. Because a counterfeit of sufficiency, by definition, always requires one more thing. Now, do any of those feel familiar? The reaching for fullness that consumption never quite provides. The reaching for recognition that approval never quite satisfies. The reaching for sufficiency that achievement never quite delivers. That persistent, exhausting, quietly desperate quality of reaching for something the material world keeps promising and never fully giving. That is the imposter at work, inside your own desire, redirecting the soul's genuine hunger for the Father toward counterfeits that maintain the hunger without ever resolving it, because a soul that is perpetually reaching outward for the counterfeit is a soul that is not turning inward toward the genuine, and the God of this world's construction depends on that, depends on the soul remaining in a state of outward reaching, perpetual consumption, perpetual performance, perpetual dependence on external validation, because the moment the soul turns inward, genuinely, and finds what is actually there, the counterfeit loses its power. So how do you tell them apart? In the moment, in the middle of ordinary life, inside the actual texture of your own thinking, how do you know? When a voice in your head is the Father, and when it is the imposter, the Gnostic tradition gives us a very simple and very practical test. Look at what the voice produces in you, the God of this world's voice, whatever form it takes, whatever language it uses, whatever spiritual or secular clothing it wears, always produces the same interior condition, contraction, the sense of becoming smaller, more defended, more afraid, more dependent on something external to make you feel safe or worthy or real, more convinced that the light within you is either absent or insufficient. That contraction, that specific quality of interior shrinking, is the signature of the imposter, regardless of what the voice says, regardless of whether it sounds reasonable or spiritual or self-aware or even humble. If it produces contraction, it is the God of this world speaking, the Father's voice, the quiet one, the one that the pneumatic spark carries into your awareness, always produces the opposite, expansion, not arrogance, not the inflated, defended expansion of ego, but the quiet, grounded, steady expansion of a soul that has touched something real, something that does not depend on external confirmation to remain solid, something that was there before the world got to it, and will be there after the world's noise has quieted. That expansion, that specific quality of interior opening, of becoming more genuinely yourself rather than less, of feeling simultaneously more humble and more certain, more ordinary and more real. That is the Father's signature, and once you learn to feel the difference, contraction versus expansion, imposter versus genuine, the God of this world versus the Father, you begin to navigate your own inner life with a clarity that no amount of external spiritual guidance can provide, because the test is interior, and it is always available in any moment of any ordinary day. I want to bring this to something very specific, because I think it is important. There is a particular form of the imposter that is the most dangerous, because it is the hardest to recognize. It is the spiritual imposter, the voice that says, "You are not spiritually advanced enough, you have not done enough practice, you have not read enough texts, you have not reached the level of development required before your inner experience can be trusted." This voice sounds humble, it sounds appropriately cautious, it sounds like wisdom, but look at what it produces. It produces dependence on external authority, on the teacher, the tradition, the institution, the validated practitioner who stands between you and direct access to the genuine Father. It produces exactly the same structure as every other form of the God of this world's mediation. You are insufficient. Something external is required. The inner light cannot be trusted directly. That is not the Father speaking. That is the imposter, wearing spiritual clothing. The Gospel of Philip says something about this that is as direct as anything in the Nag Hammadi library. It says that those who go into the bridal chamber, the inner sacred space of direct recognition, do so in the dark and in the light, and not because of what they have earned, but because of what they are. What they are, not what they have achieved, not what level they have reached, not what institution has validated their readiness. What they are, and what you are, what every human soul is that carries the pneumatic spark. is already sufficient for the recognition the Father's presence requires. The impostor says otherwise, consistently, in every century, through every institution, in every tradition that positions itself between the soul and the divine. The Father says, turn inward, now, as you are, without preparation, without credential, without the institution's permission, and find what is already there. The Gospel of Truth describes a moment of recognition that I want to close with, because it captures something that no amount of cosmological explanation can fully replace. It describes the moment when a soul, inside the dream of the material world, begins to wake, and it says that in that moment, the soul does not find a new reality that was waiting somewhere else. It finds that the reality it was always inside, the genuine, living, Father-saturated reality, was present throughout the entire dream. The impostor, the god of this world, the loud voice, the contraction, the systems that defined you from the outside in, the counterfeits that kept the hunger alive without ever resolving it, all of it was the dream's thickness. Between you and the recognition of what was always the case, the Father was not absent while the impostor was speaking. The Father was present, in the spark, beneath the noise, throughout every moment of the loud voice's reign inside your head. The waking is not the arrival of something new, it is the recognition of what was always there, and that recognition, in the Gnostic tradition's understanding, does not require a perfect moment, a silent monastery, an advanced level of spiritual development, or anyone's permission. It requires only this, the willingness to turn inward, to be still, to be honest, and to ask the question that the God of this world's entire construction is designed to prevent you from asking, what is here? Underneath everything the world has told me I am, underneath the loud voice, underneath the contraction, underneath the grades and the rankings and the approvals and the counterfeits, what is actually here? Ask that question, genuinely, without agenda, without the need for a specific answer in a specific form, and wait, not for long. The Father is not far. The Father is the ground you are already standing on. The impostor simply spent a very long time convincing you to look somewhere else. Now you know where to look. Subscribe to the Gnostic Archive. Turn on the notification bell. Every week we go deeper into the map that was taken, because the soul that is waking up, your soul, deserves the complete picture. The God of this world is the impostor. The Father is the ground. And the quiet voice that has always said, there is something more here, was right. It was always right.